Hey YouTube, it's Rob from Let's Talk Board Games. Just wanted to do a video on DMing, GMing, whatever you want to call it, and covering the topic of campaign setting. Just finding out, what you guys normally do. Do you guys just homebrew everything, or do you guys run out and buy these campaign books? Me personally, I don't. I just feel like there's too much source material in the world today to need to purchase any of these things. I know a lot of people that's like their bread and butter. And they, every time Wizards of the Coast releases something, or any, whatever company they prefer to go with, they run out and they get these things, and I feel like they spend just as much time studying these source books and these campaign settings to run the campaign for their players as they would as if they kind of just developed the story and the world themselves. And I find it much more rewarding when you develop the world yourself. I know what you're saying right now. You're saying, Rob, I don't have time to do that. I've got, a life. I've got a wife, kids, and work, and just frankly, it's not in the schedule. I can't really put the time aside to do that. And I still say again, I'm like, dude, you take time out to sit there and you read this book, and the time that you do that, you can put into developing your own world, and it'll be so much more fulfilling. I like when those campaigns are run well, because obviously Wizards of the Coast and whoever else produces these campaign settings, they're professional writers. They know what they're doing. So when you pay 30 to 50 bucks for these books, you're getting some good meat and potatoes. But the worst thing is when you get a DM that has not taken the time to learn the material, and then they try to run a game. It just goes off the tracks quickly. And that was one of my biggest gripes with the thing they were doing with 4th edition, the encounters. I wanted to be a huge fan of 4th edition, and I really couldn't find a solid group at least, that was playing at the time. A lot of people were still playing 3.5. Hold on. A lot of people were still playing 3.5, sorry about that. And frankly, I was kind of coming into the whole hobby at that time. 3.5 was kind of already there and established, and that was what I started out playing. 3.5, I was like, this is amazing, D&D is awesome, because primarily before then I was playing board games strictly. But I played D&D 3.5 and I loved it, and when 4th edition kind of came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go waist deep in the 4th edition. So I ran out, bought the player's handbook. I even bought the player's handbook too, and that was kind of disappointing. It was that thick. And so I couldn't find anybody that played 4th edition. I think I had 2 games with 2 different groups, and it was just really terrible. Games was really bad. I don't know if it was the combat or the DMs, so it was just not working. So to get back on track with the story, I went to my local game shop, Firefly Toys and Games in Columbia. So that's a little plug right there for you guys. You're welcome. So I went there, and they would host encounters. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Wasn't really excited about the pre-made characters, but I mean, it's like, hey, I just want to play D&D at this point. I would head out. I would sit there and wait for the people to show up, and we'd get 3 or 4 guys, and each night it'd be like a different DM because the guy before couldn't make it. It was just really sloppy. The DM would have to flip through the pages really quick and try to find out what he's doing and how he's going to run the game. So you'd be sitting there for that, and you're kind of like, well, this is supposed to be like sit down and play kind of game, and it's not that. I mean, this is taking more time than your normal campaign would take to get started. And so encounters was just never the thing for me. And I kind of feel like that a lot when I play these campaign settings that another DM's normally running. It's just kind of like it just drags on, and they'll make a mistake and they forgot a bit of information, and they'll go back and they're like, wait, I forgot to tell you guys this, and you met that guy and he told you this, not that. Just things like that, and it just ruins the game. And I know no one's perfect. Everybody has a life, and they can't devote so much time to these to these games, these hobbies. But people, please, take the extra time to develop your world. Even if it's not totally flushed out. A good thing I like to do is I get a good basis for my world. So I'll get like, I'll have my capital, and then I'll have a few little towns on the outskirts. And I'll start my players off in one of those towns, and I'll kind of keep them centralized in that town, but they know the other places exist. And with each, I say, chapter in the campaign, I kind of branch them out to the different towns, the different cities, or the different areas, and I kind of just develop everything maybe a session or two before we get to it. Or I'll develop it before we get to it, and then it'll be like, so by the time they get to this area, it's well developed, flushed out. So try doing that. That way you don't spend several hours trying to come up with everything at once. I mean, I think a lot of times people make a lot of information for these games, and it's stuff that they don't really need. I mean, like, they get really deep into the currency, and they get into the politics, and it really depends on your players, if you need things like that. Fill your players out first. And when okay, my players are combat heavy, and they're not going to really delve into the politics of things and find out the who's in power and what areas. And you can kind of have that stuff in there, but just sprinkle it in there, just a little sprinkle. And that way you're not tying up so much of your creative time developing things that aren't going to be used in the campaign. And a lot of times you just come up with this stuff on the fly. Think about your own, government system, and wherever you live, and who holds a seat, and who was, the governor, or who was the mayor. Use their names. Hell, it doesn't matter. What's the chances of your players knowing all this information that you know? And that's just your standard information. If you do any voting or anything like that, or you care about what's going on in your city. So I think I've rambled on enough. But if you guys want to hear more of me and my thoughts on pretty much anything related to board games, tabletop, not so much war games. I don't really do war games anymore. That was a dark time in my past. Just let me know, and then we will do that. I need a haircut already. So that's it for me. Again, please subscribe, like the video, comment, and I'll get some more things that you guys want to hear or see, and we'll do that. And oh yeah, I want to mention a channel to you guys. If I remember, I'll drop a link. If I don't, I'm sorry, but it is Braves Toy Review or something like that. So if you guys are into collecting action figures or anything like that, look up, it's Braves Toys Review, or Braves Toy Reviews, something along those lines. Really cool guy. He goes over these really cool toys that I have not seen before. Like these really just these awesome action figures, and I'm not even into that kind of stuff, but I'll just watch his videos. He's pretty cool, chill kind of guy. But other than that, there's another plug for you. Other than that, you guys keep on gaming, do whatever you do and have fun, and I'll see you guys again for the next video. Later.